Hey, good morning. Good morning to all of you. It's a bright new day, another morning walk. As we focus around the question, the theme of the topic is: should a network engineer, and I could generify that if I can make up a word, make it generic. Should a technical person get into project management? That's the topic for today. So while we're still waiting for a number of people to arrive, let me hit some quick announcements, super quick announcements. First off, I got a Carson. Hello from Phoenix. Nice weather. Hey, yeah, it is. Oh man, it's beautiful. I mean, it's beginning of March and I'm out. So it is beautiful. So a couple quick announcements. First and foremost, I have a brand new microphone setup. So I have to show you a picture at some point of this rig. I now have a rig of filming, if you will. I feel like one of those cool YouTuber guys that are on surfboards and in the water with these giant things that they're doing. But I have no surfboard. There's no water, and not as cool. But anyway, I at least have the rig, so hopefully you can hear a little better. I'll send you a picture. I'll throw it on Instagram or something of this whole setup. It's big. So hopefully the sound sounds good, doesn't cut out, things like that. We were running into some wind issues on the last live stream. So second announcement before we move on is starting next week. This actually, this topic that we're talking about right now, should a network engineer get into project management, is actually one of the beginning of a series of soft skills that I'm going to be talking about. I've gone through many different live streams, and one of the themes I kept seeing coming in as we were talking about job opportunities and how to land a job, et cetera, is I'm like, man, there's just such a need for soft skills. And soft skills, everybody's like, well, you can't teach soft skills. Yeah, I think you can. And I think that they can be gained just like technical skills. So starting next week, I'm gonna week by week go through different soft skills and talk about what are things that you can do and things that I've done in my own life to gain soft skills. So more on that to come. Last announcement is I have a watch. One of the things that I've noticed is my live streams that I've been doing in the morning are just getting longer and longer. And it started to kind of hit me. And I know it sounds like, oh no, as long as you want, but like last week's live stream was on I don't even remember a different topic that'll hit me at some random point. It ended up being like 45 minutes, and it's not that I'm I could walk for hours or days, and talk and just think, but a lot of times the live streams are just literally my internal monologue. Hi, Sudan. Saw that chat just come in. So you're kind of getting in my head, but I felt like, sometimes if I don't put a watch on it, you're just getting like, you're going down the train and I can get off topic, and I'm like, I want to be respectful of your time as well. Honestly, like I said, I could obviously you're listening to me right now. I could talk forever. But hello, Ethiopia. But I want to be respectful of your time because I think about the thousands of people that watch these live streams after we're done. And I'm like, man, they've got to troll through 45 minutes of Jeremy just being like, oh, and the sun and barking dogs. I mean, like, I'm like, come on. So I'm going to keep these to 15 minutes as I look at the little clock and it says 4 minutes in already. So let's get to going. Yeah. So an alarm will go off when I hit there. Sweden, Pakistan. So great. It's one thing I love about doing these morning live streams is I get so many more international folks because I'm actually in your wake time instead of doing them in the afternoon when everybody else is asleep. So on to the topic at hand. First off, the question is, should a network engineer go into project management? Or I'll again make it generic. Should an engineer in general get an education? Should I learn project management? And again, this topic came from a question. It was, one of many questions, just like you guys are typing in Rwanda, Sri Lanka, everybody's like, here's where I'm from, and I love it. It's all over the place. But those questions, like Andrew's asking a question about an MSP right now, after I'm done, I go through those questions, and that becomes a lot of the topics that I talk about in the future live streams. So that said, this was literally a question that came in, and I want to make sure. And I know you guys get this, but it's worth saying context is everything. So when I say, well, it depends, I want you to know that's an underlying truth for any question. I mean, if the world was ending tomorrow, I'd be like, no, you should not get into project management. Prepare yourself, if the United States government collapsed in a week, I'd be like, project management, not the best thing, which could very well be a reality. But that's another live stream topic for another day, so it depends on a lot of things. So when I'm talking about project management, what does it depend on? Well, it depends on where you are in your career. Like, are you just getting into technology? Have you been in technology for a long time? It depends on your, maybe attitude is the word. I've met people that have been in technology for 20 years and they're like, I'm kind of ready for something new. What do I do now? I don't just want to learn more technology. Or you could be just getting into technology, you're 6 months in, and you're like, man, there's so much technology. And I'm like, okay, so you get that. So it also depends on the size of company that you're working for. So working for a large company, a small company, are you a consultant? Are you independent? All of those things go into this question, and I know that leads to it depends. So I want you to know that as you hear me talking, I'm giving you experience, and I'm giving you kind of lessons learned for myself that I'm hoping help you in your journey, right? So what I'm not giving you is like, okay, here's the 5 steps. If you do this, I guarantee you're going to be successful in project management, right? And also keep in mind, I am a learned project manager. This is where it gets back to the it depends answer. I am not a natural organizer. I'm, as I'm all over in the topic list, right? I'm not a natural list maker or list follower. I'm not a natural time tracker. That's not natural to me. And for a lot of people out there, it's how God made them. You know what I mean? Like my wife is a perfect example of that. She is, I think most wives are, list makers, time trackers, efficiency experts. And so know that I'm also counting in there some natural build. So that said, I also want to address the thought of, well, I can't be a project manager. That's not how God made me. That's not how I am. And that's where I would say, don't go that route either. Because there's a ton of value and a ton of growth that you can have. This is leading into that soft skills series, right? Of videos I'm going to be creating. You can grow. It's not like you're just stuck because you're not naturally organized, right? So that said, first off, will project management help you in an engineering position, in a technical role? Yes, it will. It will help you with organizational skills. It'll help you with planning skills, which are not natural for a lot of technical people. That's like, we're doers, right? We're built this way. Like, whatever. I'll figure it out when I get there. And so much so that it's really hard to sit down and be like, okay, let me just think, what is it going to be like when I get to the data center? What am I going to do? Oh, wait, I need a console cable. Hang on. Like those planning skills, organizational skills. It'll help you with communication skills. Like 90% of project management and being successful, this is one of the big soft skills that you'll learn in project management, is communication. It's not, you know what's funny? I have a friend, dear friend of mine, who a few years ago told me, she goes, "You're actually not a very good communicator." And I'm like, what? I'm like, you're like unraveling my whole essence of being. And she's like, no. Communication doesn't just mean that you're comfortable talking. It's, do you have, and she explained that. That's a lot of what project management will teach you. It's like, how can you communicate a little more efficiently? Good grief. 10 minutes in, this is a work in progress. The 15-minute length videos will be a work in progress. So let me work on my communication skills and be a little bit more efficient. Project management will teach you budgeting. Like, how do you budget not just money, but time? How do you budget your time? When somebody asks you, how long's that switch install? How long's that server build going to take? What do you think? You're like, like an hour. An hour, right? And that's why most engineers have marital challenges as well, because they're like, it's like 6 hours later, you said an hour, right? It's because like, it's not that we're just like, oh yeah, you just click. It doesn't come naturally. So project management will help you with that. Now, one of the things, and I saw somebody chat this in, a PMP will help everybody. And I want to make sure I tell you that PMP, a project management certification, it's great. First off, it will force you to learn a lot of stuff, but it is generic project management for everybody. You will learn a lot, but most of it is ethereal theory. Like, okay, if you had a budget, here's how you could calculate this percentage of it. Like, for a lot of engineers, if you get into PMP, it is soul-crushing material. So when I'm saying learn project management, I think the better route, don't just be like, well, I guess PMP is where I'm going to go. I would do a lot of Googling. I would go on Udemy and search for real-world project management directions, real-world project management series, because there's a lot of them out there of literally people who are project managers, even that are project managers of technical things. And they will tell you what's up without having to learn volumes of information to get PMP certified. But that said, there's a lot of doors the PMP will open for you if you're looking for a project management career. So, second piece, what is your company size and what is your company size and what is your position at that company? Project management may not be helpful for you if you're working at a small company whose intent to stay small and you're doing the same things, kind of small network deployments that you can handle without much project management. So take that into account when you're thinking about it. Think about, when it comes to project management, your career journey. Where are you in your career journey? Some of the most amazing project managers I've seen are people that are non-technical, which sounds funny. A technical project manager who's not technical, who doesn't know how to do the tech. And here's one of the things I want you to grasp, and one of the thoughts I want you to take with you. There's a term that we created at VIA, the managed service provider that I run. We call it conversationally competent. That means somebody understands it enough to talk about it and to understand kind of like, what the engineers are saying, and to ask the right questions when they're like, oh, well, you gotta have it's like, well, okay, do you really have to, like, okay, what will that do for you if you have the flux capacitor installed and and they're like, okay, I guess we don't need a flux capacitor. You're right. Now that it's just conversationally competent means somebody is confident enough in themselves that they can begin to ask the right questions. And that skill, you don't have to be technical. You just have to ask the right questions enough of a technical person to not only help you understand, but help guide them through the right things. One of the challenges a lot of technical people have is in planning is that they can't just think of it themselves. When somebody says, yeah, go plan out that data center install, it's like, I got a couple of routers here. I'm gonna go install them. You know what I mean? Like that's what I'm gonna do. Okay, so when you get there, do you have power? Oh, power. you're right. We are going to need a PDU to go, like, you know what I mean? It's asking the right questions, conversationally competent. You don't have to be hyper technical to realize routers probably have plugs, you know what I mean? So when I'm asking, does a network engineer need to be a project manager? No, but I would really ask you or tell you that getting basic project management skills, I'm not talking PMP, I'm talking the basics of communication, the basic of planning, will help you ask the right kinds of questions of yourself and of other people when you're doing that. I told you I have a watch. It's going off. My 15 minutes are up. But hang on. I'm aiming to get to 15-minute live streams. So then last thing I want to mention is what do you want to be when you grow up? One of the things that I thought in my youth is that there's one path that you have in a career. It is you come in as an employee. You come in as a technician. You come in as a worker, and your path is that you will become a manager, right? And once you're a manager, then you've arrived or something like that. And one of the things that I found out really quickly early on is highly technical people are not always the best managers. And as a matter of fact, when you promote a highly technical person to a manager, oftentimes they're miserable. They hate it because management is a completely different skill set. So what a lot of organizations will do is be like, man, that guy, that gal, they're awesome. I mean, they're turning installs, they're configuring, their troubleshooting is awesome. So let's make them a manager of all these people that we want to be awesome as well. That sometimes can be your worst mistake, because that person is now miserable. They're like, I love being awesome at what I'm good at. I don't want to manage. I don't want to, mentor. I don't want to, lead. That's where I would ask you, when you come to project management, it's in the name, management. Project management, the great thing about it, and the thing that I will leave you with, is it is your taste test to full management. To be a good project manager, at the end of the day, you got to be a good manager. You just are focusing your effort on specific projects rather than, running a department, PTO requests, day to day, all of those kind of things. I saw somebody type in, I'm one of those awesome technical people that would not want to be a manager. Yeah, I get it. And that's the question I'll leave you with. Should you be a project manager as a network engineer? Should you go into project management from any technical field? I would say the answer I would give in the context is basic project management skills will help everybody. So I encourage you, go Google real world project management. Don't go after a PMP. It's soul crushing if you're not going off the deep end and getting full project management certification. You will get probably an hour into it and be like, yeah, what? Not for me. I'm saying get some real project management skills that can be applied to what you do day to day, right? But doing that will help you figure out what you want to be when you grow up. Do you want to be this technical rock star that continues to grow into different kinds of technologies and the learning never stops? Do you want to get into management style positions? Do you want to lead technical rock stars? Do you want to plan projects and deployments and things like that? That's what this will give you. It'll help you get that feeling of like, yeah, I really enjoy this. And the last thing I'll leave you with, so I'm aiming for 20 minutes for this first concise live stream. The last thing I'll leave you with is just remember, anything new that you get into, you will dislike. You will dislike. Pick it, for a new technology. Okay, you know Microsoft. Okay, go ahead and learn Apple. Hey, Apple. Go ahead and learn Microsoft. That's why you see even people, end users. They're like, I use Apple all the time. I hate Microsoft. Like, they don't hate Microsoft. They just don't use it. I love Google Docs, or I hate Google Docs. It's just you dislike what you don't know. So remember that when you get into project management, you won't like it at first. I can almost guarantee it. It's pushing through a few of those uncomfortable situations, and this is what's going to lead into a lot of the soft skills, which again are going to be a lot of the future live streams. Push through a couple of those situations and grow yourself. Okay, really the last thing I want to leave you with. As you know, VIA, managed service provider, that I started about 11 years ago, we're up to about 30 people that are there. And we're now at the point where we're growing project managers, we're growing managers. And I was having a conversation with a dear friend, and I said, I wish that at some point, for some of these people, I mean, the thing is the big difference between technical skills and management skills is technical skills you can learn in a closet. You know what I mean? That's why I always say, build a lab, set this up, deploy a network, and see how that goes. See what, you can learn that in a closet without impacting other people. Project management, that's not closet material. The only way you're really learning that is with other people. It's finding out what works with other people. And this is what I was telling one of our top guys at VIA. I said, I wish there was a way that we could engineer situations where it's like, hey, you need to give somebody some critical feedback. Hey, you need to have a hard conversation with an employee that's not performing well. Hey, you need to talk to a customer and tell them we didn't deliver on time. I said, I wish there was a way to do that, like technical skills. And this is where I'll lead it into the soft skills. Technical skills you can learn in a closet where the only thing that you impact is yourself. And don't hear me say that's why they're not worth as much. It's not true. I mean, you can be an amazing technician, setting up your own home network without impacting anybody, right? But when it comes to soft skills, when it comes to project management, sometimes the only way of learning is going through it. And man, can that be uncomfortable. Man, can that be uncomfortable. I mean, you know me, right? I'm the happy, it's a bright sunny day, kind of guy. First time I had to sit down and tell somebody, I'm sorry, you're just not cut out for this position. You're not keeping the level of productivity that we need. You're not, oh man, that's no fun at all. And that's some of what project management is. You're making sure that the project is your mission, right? And if there's team members that are involved, that are keeping that mission from happening, that's where it goes from the closet, where technical skills can be learned, to the okay, let's do this. And the best advice I can give you is just dive in. It's hard. It's not fun. You won't like it, but you just gotta go there. Otherwise, management is not the direction you want to go. It involves people, and that's one of the big discussions and the decision points that you'll have to make, moving from a technical role like a network engineer. I'm coming back to the title of this stream. Moving from a network engineer into a project management or any kind of management role is really the decision to move from things that impact only you, and I know technical things can impact a lot of people, but technically, technical objects are things that you can learn and you can experiment with without impacting others, versus management skills, which are deeply and highly involved with other people. So I leave you with that question. What do you want to be when you grow up? Where do you want to grow to grow yourself and the organization that you're working with? That's it. Thanks, guys.